Welcome everybody. This video is for you if you have been burned out and are looking to recover. It is for you if you want to avoid ever being burned out again and move forward with ease and effortlessness and better results without working harder and burning out. So welcome. Good to have you guys. It's great. Let me know that you're here. Let me know where you're watching from. This is a very important video today. It will help with creating results easy and effortlessly without actually burning out, which is where most people, a lot of people, not most, well, actually, we are in some areas of the world close to 50% of people who have either had stress or will have stress in their lifetime. So let's do what we can to prevent this, shall we? Hi, Ula. Good to see you. Welcome in. Hi, Helena. This is a very important topic today. We're talking about how to recover from burnout if you have been burned out with stress and overwhelm. And if you want to protect yourself and making sure that never happens for you, this video is for you as well. So welcome in, everyone. Good to see you. Hello. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday. I just had to look and see what we actually call this day, but it is Tuesday, and cheers and decaf coffee. That is one thing I do to avoid going back to where I was, and I'm going to share a little bit of my story today to put things into perspective, but also in order to illustrate something that is important. So welcome, guys. So we're talking about burnout today, and we're talking about how to avoid it and also how to recover from it. Hi, Alan. Good to see you. Welcome in. Very good. And so if you're watching this live, I love that you're here. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching if you're watching the replay, let me know as well in the chat what you have taken away from this very important topic. So burning out, it's something that I think a lot of people can understand because they've had it in their life in one way or the other. They have been stressed or they have had stress, but we don't actually get stress from anything or anyone. We give it to ourselves by our ignorance, actually, not understanding. And ignorance is not a bad thing. It's just not knowing. Not knowing what? It's not knowing how our mind functions. And so we experience this physical thing called burnout, but it's a symptom. It's a symptom of a main cause, and the main cause is your mental state. And we can understand that, we can hear that, but how do you actually live it? How do you actually improve it? That's what you and I are going to uncover today. Hey, everybody. Sina is here, Annette is here, Christina is here. Welcome in, guys. Welcome. So how do you know if you are burned out? Most people will know when they get to that state. And what is it that they know? They know that their physical body is not feeling very good. There's something that is off. They start sleeping worse. They start having anxiousness. They don't feel adequate in their work. They're tired all the time. They're dragging their feet out the door. They're drinking more coffee. Typical signs of burnout. And so what we're actually experiencing is a physical symptom. It's the body starting to tell us that we're in a vibration that is not very healthy. And it's just expressing something. Whatever is impressed must be expressed. And what is impressed is often a bad idea. And I'll get back to that. But let me know first if you're here and you're live and if you're watching the replay, let me know if you have ever been burned out or felt burned out. Let me know that if you resonate with this. That will make it even more powerful for you as we get into the video. Hey Lars, good to see you. I do very well. How are you doing? Great, awesome. More folks are joining in here live. It's good to see you. We're talking about burnout today, how to prevent it, how to overcome it if you've had it. And so let me know if you have ever felt like burned out. I said close to 50% will feel it or have felt it at some point. So let's see what the statistics say today. Awesome. Meanwhile, I'll sip my decaf coffee here with a little bit of MCT oil in it. Awesome. It's good to see you. Welcome in live. So Have you guys ever felt like close to being burned out, or maybe you have been burned out before? And if you have, how did it feel like? How did it feel like for you? For me, it was a sense of never being good enough, never getting the things done. The typical thing that happens in the mind is, and I'm going to bring this little person up here. I'm feeling it right now, unfortunately. Wow. Well, it's great that we're talking about this today. There's never an accident, you know. It's there's always a reason. And so many of you know our little stick person: conscious mind, subconscious mind, and body. Procrastination, says Lars Ulas, is close to giving up. All right. Well, it's good that you recognize it. Now that you recognized it, we can start turning things around. So the reason why most people are stressed and burned out here in the body, like I said, is a symptom of a main cause. And the main cause is, of course, the mind. We don't get stressed, we don't get burned out. Our employer doesn't burn us out. We allow it because we don't understand the mind. So, like I said before, it's ignorance in most cases, it's just not knowing. So, the paradigm in the subconscious mind says you should do this, you are a very you're a responsible person, you live up to your responsibilities, you should be doing all of this stuff. The conscious mind says, well, you know that this won't be healthy for you to continue that like that. You know that you should take a break, you know you should recharge, but I just have to, I just have to, I just have to. So when there's a big gap between where you are and where you should be, and you keep going back and forth between those mental models, it leads to the body being in a state of um, ambivalence. Like your mind is ambivalent, and then the body starts feeling it. And ambivalence on a conscious level is just that there's two ideas that are simultaneously existing, and you are changing between them. The body will start feeling it. So the conscious mind wants you in that direction, the subconscious mind wants you in that direction, the conscious mind wants you in that direction. The body starts feeling it. And so we start running faster because the old programming says the more I get done, the more hours I work, the better. That's an illusion. That kills more people than more than anything else, I believe. It's the idea, it's mental in nature. I believe that 70-80% of our physical illnesses can be traced back to the mind. After having worked with a lot of, like, tens of thousands of people at this point, I see how the more order in the mind, the more order that is created in the mind, the better the body will feel. So a person's goal might not even be health, but they set a goal, they start learning more about their mind, and that brings the body to a state of ease. This ease is a body that is not at ease. This ease is an expression of the mind that is not at ease. And a mind at ease would be recognizing that you are right here, right now, in the present moment. You cannot be anywhere else. And that you intellectually and subjectively are working on the same idea. You're not subjectively saying, I should, I feel bad if I don't. And intellectually you say, I should take a break, I should stop, I should, recharge. So that's really the sort of what's behind burned out. Hey, Ellen, good to see you. Yeah, I mean, this wasn't easy for me. It happens when you're in a conflicting energy. And I also find that burnout for a lot of people happens when they're doing something they're not really passionate about, that they don't really like. They're doing things out of a sense of how can you say that? Responsibility. They think they need to. I should do this. That should energy is so negative. And when you're there, let's say you are employed by someone, you're working in a job that you're not very passionate about, and you have that should energy with you, and your life purpose is far away from it, your body will start to express that imbalance. On the other hand, if you're doing something you really enjoy and you really love, and you won't burn out. It might be that you have to sleep a little less one night, but you're not in a sense of you're not, the mind isn't fragmented. You are emotionally involved in something that's really worthy of you. Intellectually, you're there as well. And that means physically, you will have more resources than you could ever dream of. All the energy that's needed is already here. So why are so many people dragging their feet with burnout? They don't have energy. They're not doing what they love. They're so far removed from their life purpose, what their soul is actually calling for. Hey, good to see you, Sebastian. Hey, Ula, welcome in. So we're talking about burnout today and how to prevent it. If you don't have it, how to prevent it. If you've had it, how to recover. This is so important. This is really important. And when I say that stress is ignorance, it sounds harsh, but it really is. And I have some, you know, I've had it myself, so I can talk about it with a certain sense of awareness. And so it really happens when you're in a conflicting vibration for a certain duration of time. And then a person finds themselves a stress coach. Congratulations, we give more energy to what we don't want. Let's focus more on stress, how to get rid of stress. No, let's work on creating congruency between thoughts, feelings, and actions. Let's learn how to be more present with everything that we're doing. And one thing you can do is a technique that I teach our clients all the time. It's a process by which you center the mind on one activity at a time. One of the reasons why people are burned out is because they're multitasking. That idea should be banned from the vocabulary. It's the dumbest idea in the world because your mind can only focus on one idea at a time. So if you try and entertain multiple ideas, of course you're in a conflicting energy now. Your mind has to switch between different tasks. Your body starts to feel that conflicting energy, and that leads to higher cortisol levels, higher stress levels, and on it goes. Now we can start measuring it, and we go to a doctor and say, I think I have stress, so then you better get this and this sort of medication. But it's a mental thing. We've had many clients that came to us because they knew that their challenge on a physical plane was mental in nature. They've arrived at that conclusion after having sought a solution on the physical plane for a long time. And they searched and searched and searched, and they figured out that that's not where the solution was. It was a mental challenge. It wasn't physical at all. The physical just expresses what the mental side of you creates. So when I was back in the entertainment industry, so think about this. Here's a guy. Hey, Mikael, good to see you. I was flying 8 times on average per week for 8 years straight. That's a lot of flying. That is a lot of wanting to be there while I'm trying to be here. Like, that's a lot of mental conflict. I hope I get there on time. I hope the plane arrives. I hope the ship is there on time. I hope. And I wasn't in my body. There were nights when I didn't sleep at all. My cortisol levels were so high, I couldn't even sleep at night. And then trying to do 3 shows in the evening while not sleeping at night, getting up the next day and flying even more. So that led to a state of, well, just more coffee. If I just have more Wi-Fi when I fly, I can get more work done, you know. Of course, it caught up to me, and all the alarm bells and whistles were ringing on the physical plane, and I burned out. There was no one home anymore. I remember going to the airport one day, and the check-in lady said, "Where are you going this morning, Mr. Hansen?" And I said, "I have no idea. Just check me in, please. I know my plane leaves at 10." I mean, and the show, I was just there. I was just a robot. There was no one home. I couldn't feel myself at all. And I knew my soul was calling for more, not more work, but more purpose. But I ignored it. And I think you can recognize this. Let me know if this resonates with you. Can you recognize having a job, doing something that you're not necessarily passionate about, but you're doing it out of habit? And intuitively, you know you should be doing something different. You know you should be taking a break and asking yourself what you absolutely would love. And start listening, taking more breaks, getting more in touch with yourself. You know you should be doing that. I knew I should have done that for a long time. But I kept pushing myself. And I think many of us have to lie down and flatline almost before we wake up. That was me. I was a slow learner, I guess. Great, Ula. I'm glad it resonates. So you can get to a point where everything feels wrong, but you're still doing it, and that is absolutely insanity. Um, I've had like so one of the things you can, it's so easy to spot a person that is compromising. You can see it in their eyes. Do you love what you do? Are you happy? How is your day? It's all right. It's okay. Everything's fine. No, it's not. You're stressed because you're doing something you don't enjoy for reasons you can't articulate, and you are afraid that you're going to lose out if you don't do it. What? That's insanity. That's fear-based thinking. And it's not just fear-based thinking, it's fear-based living. Let's do that one more time. You're stressed because you're doing something you don't enjoy for reasons you cannot articulate properly, and you are still afraid that you're going to lose it if you don't do it. It is absolutely insanity. It is nuts. It is crazy. It is cray cray. That's where most people live. A lot of people that burn out like this, they are in a job they don't like. It's giving them results they're not satisfied with, and they're afraid to get fired. Why are they doing that to themselves? It's torture. It's self-torture. Food prepping says, I have to start following my dreams again. Absolutely, you have to. Life is too short. People think they go to work to earn money. That is ridiculous. That is the stupidest argument in the world. You should go to work to gain satisfaction. You should do. We're not meant for work. Work is meant for us. Like we are meant to work because we gain fulfillment out of it. If you can earn money on it, then that's great. If you can't, you should be doing it anyways, and then you should learn to earn money in different ways to get out of life what you want. But that whole idea of going to work to earn money is ridiculous. It's a stupid idea, and we've inherited by parents, by guardians that did the same thing. They compromised their goals, their dreams, their ambitions, and they lived pretty much through their senses, like we're taught to. Do you see what I'm telling you? Can you hear what I'm saying? And then we live in reaction mode from the outside in. That's another contributing factor to why so many people are burned out. They don't understand themselves. They live through their senses. It is so unhealthy. It is extremely unhealthy. They think they are what's coming back from the mirror. You're not that. That's the body you live in. That's not you at all. This is not me. This is just the meat uniform I'm occupying right now. And I do what I can to treat it right because I have an intention to be here as long as I possibly can be, because there's too many people in this world that need what we do, and that hopefully will never end where I was before they get better. You don't have to get sick to get better. Better is a good word, though. And even though things are going well, there are still certain things you can do to create more peace and harmony in your mind. So if you don't have drive, if you don't have motivation, if you're dragging your feet every day, you probably have not chosen a goal, a path that is really worthy of you. You're doing it out of obligation. You're doing it for someone else. You're sacrificing your life on the altar of responsibility. That is a dumb idea as well. So do you feel you have a goal right now? Just let me know in the chat if you feel you have a clear direction and you know what's worthy of you. Because if you don't, stay in bed, call in sick, and think it through. Your life is too important. Don't just wake up and move into a habit. No one, when we get to the end of the road, and we all do eventually, some will take longer than others, and some will depart us a little earlier, and some will depart a little later. But when we get there, no one is going to say, I'm so grateful that I spent another day doing something I didn't even know why I did, that I did something I wasn't really passionate about. No, when we get to the end of the road, you and I are going to wish we'd spend more time doing what we absolutely love, with people we really care for, and doing it on our own terms. That is what we're going to be wishing we had done more of. So isn't today a great day to start thinking this through? One of the main reasons why people burn out is because they're not doing what they actually love to do. They're doing something that is imposed on them by society, guardians, people around them. And we've had participants that went from, myself included, went from extreme burnout to healthy. Today, my physical body is 43 years old, but my biological age is 35. When I look at myself 10 years ago, I looked older than I do today. So your body is an instrument of the mind. Don't count your age in physical numbers. That is another illusion. That is a dumb thing to do. You're an infinite soul that happens to be preoccupying a body right now. But that has very little to do with who you are. And like a good mentor told me once, when you confuse who you are with what you have, you'll always have problems. That's what I did. That's what led to stress. I am stressed because I feel this in the body, and because I've learned to associate with my feelings, therefore I must be stressed. No, you're experiencing an imbalance, but your mind has the capacity to change it right away if you had the awareness. All right, Christina has been on the edge and we're absolutely paralyzed. But your insights has made a huge difference. I appreciate that, Christina. Thank you. Thank you. Anita says, I'm going for the gold every day, small steps, it will arrive. Absolutely. But you're already there, Anita. Don't think of it as something that's coming. You're already there. Stress is an illusion. It is, Lars. Absolutely. It's a mental illusion that we have been programming and hypnotizing ourselves. Look at society. Are you sure you're not stressed? You look a little stressed. And all these suggestions, we dump them into each other's subjective minds all day long. And so we think we get it, right? And then it creates a negative feedback loop. The mind accepts an idea, we accept it emotionally. Now I start feeling it. And that feeling, because I have associated myself with my feelings, I now say I am stressed. That's the first illusion. No, you're not. You're experiencing an imbalance of accepting unhealthy ideas. That's a better way to describe it. But nonetheless, the feeling now becomes the primary cause. I feel something, therefore I must have. And now it becomes a self-perpetuating cycle. And all the mind can see are reasons to ask to why I should have this. So I go to a stress coach or whatever. I'm not, picking on stress coaches, but it would be better to call them a peace and harmony coach. We get more of what we focus on, right? Anyways, that's a different dialogue for a different day. But and it says, I've just been on the edge, but I've been on my way back by using those mental tools. That's great. Love that. All right. Great. Good observations, guys. So this is important. We have to allow for a new model. And what is a new model is that you ask yourself what you absolutely would love to do on a daily basis. And when you do what you love to do, you will find that the capacity, you have endless amounts of energy. It rushes to you. You are terminal for energy. You have all the energy there is and ever will be. You have access to it. Why do you think we hear these stories about, let's say, a child that's trapped under a car? All of a sudden, the parent has enough energy to throw that car aside. Maybe a small little lady that just, tiny little lady that just throws the car. How did she do that? Where the heck did that energy come from? Wherever it was right now, it rushes to her aid because her subjective mind accepted a new idea. How about you and I accepting a new idea about why we're here and what we're called to do? When you do that, you will find that risk of burnout is much less. That doesn't mean you shouldn't sleep at night. It doesn't mean you shouldn't take care of yourself. Of course you should. But the precursor for a happy, healthy existence is doing what you absolutely would love to do. And then there's this illusion also, it comes creeping back. So, and I've had it, this thing that, can it come back now that I'm doing what I absolutely love? What if it comes back? But that's a mental illusion. That's the paradigm reminding you of an experience you had once, and it's to a certain extent probably still in the body. So the mind sometime will go back and associate with that experience. But as you keep focusing on, I'm so happy and grateful now that my thoughts, feelings, and actions are in perfect harmony. I live in the moment. I express it fully, benefiting everyone and anything around me. It is so. And that just came to me now, that affirmation, feel free to use it. But when you do that and you focus on the present moment, stress cannot exist. Burnout cannot exist because you're with one idea at a time. And so back to this technique that I mentioned earlier, what I would encourage you to do going forward is every evening before you go to bed, write out 6 things, 6 goal-achieving activities that you know when you act on them tomorrow, it will move you towards your goal. You write them out, you prioritize them, and when you wake up tomorrow morning, you have the first action step, the second one, the third one. You focus on one until it's solved. You clear out all distractions. But if you sit and listen to a lot of, let's say, not very constructive stuff coming through YouTube, this is constructive. Make sure you turn on notifications and are with us live next week as well, because this will help you. But you know what I mean. There's a lot of stuff out there that just doesn't benefit. And if you allow that in while you're trying to focus on a task, while you're trying to look at the email pings and everything else coming through, of course, your mind is going to be in a chaotic state. So clear out all the distractions, focus on one thing at a time. Stress is your own inability to manage your thoughts, feelings, and actions. So the more we're here mentally, the more we're here emotionally, the more we're here physically, the less burnout can happen. And that's so simple. It's so easy to understand. And you go, well, I know that that's what it is. Well, check your results. How do you feel every day? Do you feel grounded? Do you feel productive? So when people say, aren't you stressed? Aren't you blah, blah, blah? And you said, no, I'm not. I'm productive. I'm not stressed because I choose not to have that anymore. It creates some interesting dialogues. It really does. Awesome. Looking forward to seeing you guys later on Q&A. Absolutely. Last says good advice and wake up with a smile. Precisely. I had a participant who had been in mental and physical imbalance for 20 years. Imagine that. And I asked him, what would you love? And he said, I would love to wake up with a smile on my face every morning because I never experienced it. And it seems like an impossible goal to me. I'm like, congratulations. Then I said, that's the goal. And Yannick, beautiful soul, he did a video for us, actually a testimonial. And just 2-3 months into the program, he woke up with a smile on his face. He's now a successful business owner. He moved to Barcelona. He's living his dream life. One change, he said, I've seen psychiatrists, psychologists for like over 20 years. Most of them sat and looked at what happened and all the crap that happened, which of course kept growing in my mind. And he goes, just this simple change, this simple state change between thoughts, feelings, and actions did the trick. It's so simple. It's just not easy to integrate. So you can understand it and having learned nothing at all. True learning is taking the concept intellectually, accepting it intellectually, integrating it subjectively, acting on it physically, actually acting on this. And that will change your results on a physical level. And that will also cause your body to express a completely different state. And health is your birthright. Your body will start to express more health. You don't get health. You don't get healthy. You express more health. You just allow the expression to happen, which most people don't because there's so many paradigms on top of it blocking it. The feeling of, oh, they're going to be disappointed if I don't say yes to everything. Some people put this badge of honor on by, saying yes to everything. They take the yes hat on. I think that's very unhealthy. I think we should take the no hat on with love and respect. Say no with love and respect. Now we can give more. Now we can give from a place of surplus. But if you're burned out, there's nothing more to give. And so let's make sure you and I put on the oxygen mask first before we try and hand it to people around us. And that goes in work relationships, in personal relationships. It goes in all areas of life. Make sure you're doing the best you can so that there's a surplus to give from. And if you are there where it just really is constrictive and you don't see a way out, let go and let God. That's what I did back then. I was overworked, stressed out. I was on a cruise ship in the Gulf of Mexico and I was sick. I was really sick. And I remember sitting on top of the deck. It was the day after my show and I looked out over the ocean. And I started feeling a shift inside. I started asking myself, what would I love? And when I stayed with the question, what would I love, long enough, ideas started coming to my mind of what I would love, which is what I do today. Teaching this material, living it to the best of my ability, that brought my soul in harmony with my life purpose. And I've never been overworked, burned out, or stressed ever since. And so that made the biggest difference for me. It will make the biggest difference for you. And also saying no with love and respect to everything that's not in harmony with where you want to go. It's a very, very healthy thing to do. And so that will help you prevent burnout and overcome burnout if you've been there. And if you are really feeling like you're in a state of imbalance right now and you can't see a way out, we have a lot of great videos on our channel. I did one not too long ago about life purpose and how to uncover it. Go watch that video, and also make sure you utilize some of our meditations we have here on the channel. There are great meditations that will help you get in touch with who you really are. Like, back to what my good friend and mentor Suresh once said, when you confuse who you are with what you have, you will always have problems. I'm not my body. That's an instrument I live in. I don't have stress. I give it to myself. I'm not my thoughts. Thoughts are a product of my mind, and my mind is a tool. That's not who I am either. That's just an energy that's expressed with and through me. Well, who am I then? Pure energy. That's it. That's who you are. That's who you are as well. Let's make sure today that we utilize that energy for our benefit. All right. No is a small word with a big meaning. Exactly, lads. And like my good friend and mentor Bob Proctor always said, no is a complete sentence. It doesn't have to be no because this and this and this. You don't have to justify it. No is a complete sentence. And that's a very oftentimes self-loving thing, self-caring thing, not an egotistical thing, not arrogance. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a healthy, conscious respect and love for yourself and the energy that you represent. And that's a good thing. Joy and energy, harmony and passion. Exactly. All right, guys. I hope this video serves you. Make sure you check out all of our other great videos on this channel. We put up content often, and I really appreciate you for following along and for allowing us to serve you at this level. And make sure you share it with friends and family, colleagues, co-workers that you believe could benefit from it as well. And let's remember that it's not who we are that holds us back from anything we want. What's holding most people back are all these illusions of who we think we're not. All right, let's go live the impossible today. Let's make sure we stay on the right track. I'll see you again next week at 9 o'clock here. I have to think. 9 a.m. Eastern here in the morning, here in the US. That's 3 p.m. Central European time. And that's 7:30 at night Central Indian time. All right, guys. Bye for now.